Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's Tom O'Mahony here. You're all very welcome to episode 43 of Buckshot. Sorry, I'm late, but it is now Thursday the 25th of the 1st. Jesus Christ. It's tricky getting this thing out on time, lads. It's actually trickier than you'd think. Trying to arrange people and then actually editing, because you can't just throw the shit straight online. Like, you gotta clean it up some bit, like last week's one. Now, we made the mistake last week. We recorded in what didn't seem like a very echoey cafe, but fuck me, it did come out very echoey and it got noisy towards the end. Gordon did his best with me to try and clean it up, but Arrow will have him on for another one anyway, just before he goes for America and all the rest of it. So we'll do it in a more controlled environment. This week's one was done back in the usual old haunt, like just before we're back in the International Comedy Club, well, downstairs in the basement part of the bar, so it's nice and quiet, bar the ice machine going off every so often in the background. There's nothing too major. You're all very welcome to Buckshot. If this is your first time, fair play to you, and whatever you're listening on, whatever platform it is, whether it's Castbox or Spreaker or... Am I on Spreaker? I think I might be. It turns up in a ton of shit anyway. Quite obviously, you're listening to it on some form anyway. So if it's iTunes, if it's any of them, click subscribe. One turns up roughly every week. Every week may or may not be Wednesdays. I tried to aim for Wednesdays, but sure, look, the interview was done yesterday and then I just had to stick about because I had two gigs. Obviously, you can find me anywhere. Buckshot Pod on Twitter or Tom_O'Mahony on Twitter. Give a shout out, maybe make some suggestions. I've been getting some suggestions of guests. He's trying to lock the fuckers down because you see, you're not paying anybody, so you can't really hold them to anything, like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of a good crack conversation. So a lot of people have gone, yes, absolutely, but it's trying to lock in a day to meet them and stuff. But yeah, if you've any questions, any shoot the shit kind of stuff that you want to throw in, I'll do it. I'm that way inclined. I'll do it, no problem. If you have any long form questions, send them to buckshotpodcast@gmail.com. Or look, you can find Tom O'Mahony anywhere really. He's very easy to find. Twitter, Instagram, fucking Facebook. Just, you'll find me anywhere, lads. It's really not that difficult. Yeah, the reason why I didn't get out, because normally I'd be able to get editing in the evening. I didn't, because yesterday evening I was in the Moat Theatre in sold out Moat Theatre in Nace with the mighty Neil Delamere, a friend of the podcast. He would have been down around the episode 20s somewhere, I think. Delicious show. Like, I mean, Nace, you can tell there's money in Nace. People have good clothes and stuff, and they're sold out house on a Wednesday night. And apologies, I have to take a drink. I take a drink as if I'm drinking whiskey, and this is the middle of the day. I'm not drinking whiskey in the middle of the day, unfortunately. Sold out crowd, and then shot straight from there into Unshaw Comedy Club. I was packed out in there too, which is great to see, because Johnny that runs it is probably one of the nicest blokes you'll ever meet. And it was to be Jim Elliott was opening. Jim didn't open. I just say he couldn't make it, and Damien Clark stood in instead. Damo was just a joy to watch as well. Like, he's fucking brilliant crack. So it was late when I was getting back last night, so that's the reason why I'm doing this today, lads. What's gone on this week? I don't know if anybody follows me on Instagram, but by Jesus Christ, I've gotten back into barbecue, lads. I've gone fucking mad. The old drug is back. The barbecue drug last Saturday, I just went ape shit. I did 5-hour ribs again. Oh, if anybody wants to find out how to do them, you can kind of see I did a piss take. If you look at my YouTube channel, again, Tom O'Mahony, you'll find it pretty easy. I put up piss take videos, cooking videos, where I kind of wasn't expecting the food. The whole notion was to take the piss out of people that do fucking cooking tutorials, where they try to be your friend, where they're like, hey guys, like you fucking know any of them, like. Do you know what I mean? So this cilantro is the real superstar of the meal. Fuck off. So my whole thing is cursing and swearing the whole way through, just being an angry old bollocks. But the food actually turns out quite good, and people seem to they can't look over the actual facts that I'm cursing and being a rude bastard. And people have actually asked me. So if you need to know how to do the ribs, you'll see one where I do kind of an impression of a traveller call-out video while cooking ribs. I kind of show you how to make it. If you have any questions, write them in the comments or tweet me. I've gotten quite good at this barbecuing thing. Mostly down to the fact that you get to booze while doing it. It's socially acceptable to drink outdoors by yourself while doing it. So I think that's probably most of the reason for it, if I'm honest. Yeah, and I did a couple of steaks as well. So definitely the barbecue buzz is back. I know, it's pissing rain and it's cold and all the rest, but I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it. I got my camera out, not for just filming. I didn't film any of the barbecue and stuff because it's kind of been... I'll do more funny one. I just wanted to eat. I didn't, because you have to film it and then you got to edit that shit. And sometimes having the patience to do that, I don't have it in me. But I did get the bust out the camera. Totally forgot that I have a fucking GoPro 4 from last year. Haven't hardly used the thing at all. So it is, it's been busted out. We did a demo kind of one the other day to see how it would go, because I need to now learn how to fucking... So I have Premiere Pro, which is Adobe or so, but I'm sure there's people even listening to this going, look, I already know you're a fucking idiot, Tom. I have to now learn. If anybody has any pointers on the handy way of cutting together little clippets, I don't want to do like, hi guys, vlogs. I just want to do the times I go to the scrapyard and meet like angry fucking Polish lads and stuff like that. That's the kind of vlogs of walking around vlogs I want to do, and maybe backstage and stuff like that, at certain gigs. I think it might be a bit of crack. All 22 people that follow me on fucking whatchamacallit YouTube might be interested in it. I don't know. But if I can find a way of editing that doesn't bust my brain and take me like 5 hours to do, then I will do these vlogs. And I think we could have a bit of fucking crack with it. The old GoPro is a mighty bit of stuff, so I may as well do it. So that's definitely... I'm going to try it out, and sure, you can tell me what you think of it anyway and go, listen, cut that shit out, Tom. It's not for you. Fair enough. So we did one going to get coffee the other day. I had a bit of crack with it in Maynooth, which, by the way, they have a great coffee shop there. It's a chocolate place. I've talked about this in the past. I'm getting no sponsorship from them, so I'm not going to continue. And that was that, really, yeah. So, I mean, as far as vlogging goes, I hate the notion of it. And it's not going to be a vlog to tell you anything. I don't want to educate people in any way. I just want people to just go, that's all I need. So that people just kind of think, all right, this is a bit of a crack. I am in no way... there's no way I have such an opinion of myself that an idiot like me can teach people anything. So don't worry about that. I will not be fucking sitting in front of the camera going, so this is my thought on today. Fuck off yourself. Who has thoughts that anybody should actually be interested in? Unless you're fucking that Tyson fucking... Nah, even that fucker. That scientist fella. Nah, fuck off. Nobody is that important that you should warrant having to sit down, look at their face looking into a camera, telling you fucking how you should live your life. Go away and fuck off at yourself. But I looked up a few of them, because I thought it has to be desperately interesting. I'm not interesting enough, being a stand-up comedian and doing fucking shooting guns and stuff. Who the fuck would be interested in that? Turns out people must be, because I started looking at some of these fucking daily blog things, and they are shite. There's one talking about, she's just there like... I mean, she edits it quite well, but her morning as a mother, like, I'm not being... I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sure, yeah, it's a difficult enough paying the whole job. But, like, spending 20 seconds of video time actually cutting a pear while putting it into a bit of fucking porridge and then making kids' lunches, and then talking direct to the camera for another 5 minutes as to how you're going to plan your day, and the day can really get away from you if you're just not careful. Who the fuck is this woman educating? Or who's she fucking... What's the point of what she's doing, like? Other than her fucking ego. Like, the very fact that she's saying the day can get away from you. Somebody's just watched your video for 15 fucking minutes, wasted 15 minutes of their life when you've given them nothing. No humour, no genuine fucking pointers on stuff, you're just... So that will not be what it is what I'm saying. It's anybody... Like, there's some shit hot ones, like your man Casey Neistat and stuff like that. He'd be the pinnacle, like, but... Even still, like, with the gear, I mean, his face, fuck me, it's like looking into fucking Lord of the Rings fucking style orcs. Man, he's, God bless him, but he's one ugly fucker, like. And so it troubles me. People with that much of a fucking underbite, it troubles me just looking directly at their faces for too long, like. That's not, I'm no fucking picture myself, but at the same time, like, you know what I mean? It's rough. Some prick, aren't I? So that's the vlog story, lads. I can't really tell you any more than that because I don't know anymore. But if anybody would like to give me some fast pointers on how to go about quickly editing a bunch of little clips that I caught on a Zoom down into about 5 minutes. It's only about 9 or 10 minutes worth of footage, but I want to get it down to about 5 because I really don't think anybody needs to see any more of me than that. I got a bit of a backlash this week, lads. Just talking about the barbecue thing. Now I'd eaten red gamey meat at 2 for like 7 nights in a row, which is fine. But kind of thought, all right, we'll do a vegetarian thing. And I put it up for the crack, a picture of it. I hate, you know what I mean? I don't, unless it's a shit hot looking steak or fun shit hot looking barbecue, I wouldn't typically put it up like on Instagram. But it's just sometimes when it looks unreal, you're like, yeah, this needs to be shown. Not so much for me, but more so for the steak in itself. Let's celebrate a steak. But I put up this old chickpea curry thing that I am proud enough I made from scratch. It was a piece of fucking piss, by the way. I just followed a recipe that I googled. I put it up basically with the tagline saying, even the old vegetarians need a shout out. Well, the fucking backlash I got off, lads. Like they've been living their meat eating vicariously through me. How disappointed they were. Well, fucking hell. You can't let your guard down for a second. As soon as you open that door a little bit at all to maybe the softer side of me. Nah, fuck you, Tom. Fuck you. So yeah, listen, I'm going to power on, lads. Oh, a handful of upcoming gigs that I said. I know I'm missing a few here. I haven't in the old calendar, but I have them in the other one. So I am missing a few, so I'll update you again next week. But like that, if you keep an eye, it may not apply. Most of these things are never going to apply to you because you won't be near the place. But anyway, coming up next, like I said, oh yeah, shit, that was last night, Neil Delamere on show. This Saturday, I'm in Cashel RFC, which is the rugby club, which is open. It's a gig open to the public, but I mean, it's been organised by the rugby club. I'll be there with John Cleary, the fantastic John Cleary, friend of the podcast, friend of mine. That's the 30th this Saturday. No, that's 27th. And then on Monday the 30th, I'll be in Belfast. Any of my Belfast listeners, I know I do have a good shot at Belfast listeners. Although last week, not Gordon's one, the one before I think, was topped by, this top city was San Francisco. Followed by, I think Belfast might have come soon, quickly after it. So I'm in Belfast on the 30th. I'll be at the Empire. I don't know who else is on with me. I know Colin Murphy. Oh, what's the lady's name? Abdigola. I'm saying it all wrong. She's Canadian, I think, or American. And Colin Murphy. Then Friday and Saturday, the 2nd and 3rd, I'll be in Chaplin's Comedy Club. The 5th, I'll be in the Comedy Shed, which is on Parnell Street. The 6th of February, I'll be in the Comedy Cellar. The 17th of February, I'll be in City Limits in Cork. And the 23rd, I'll be in Tip Top Comedy Club in O'Keefe's in Clonmel. I know that one is with Jim Elliott and John Cleary. And I'll be hosting that one. Now, there's a couple of more dotted in around there that I'm definitely after missing. But you look at... Let's not get too stressed about it, lads. Let's not get too stressed. These aren't my gigs anyway. I'm getting paid. Anyway, so this is all good. Right, moving swiftly on to our guest. We have met first for the first time yesterday when we did the whatchamacallit, but we've known each other from just Twitter, essentially. And like that, we were just chatting back and forth, and it came up the other night when it was, I think I posted about the guy that owns White Moose, who'd been slagging off this vlogger of all things, which is fucking brilliant, this influencer, who basically, brilliant online, fucking, he trolled the shit out of her, like it was brilliant, and he'd put it up to me, basically, today's guest, Andy McCarroll, he put it up to me, like, podcast guest, and we were just to and fro, and we kind of know each other anyway from the whole podcast thing, and he's got an interesting fucking thing going. He's a funny bastard too, so just so, I mean, you know, he's mad into movies. He does a lot of the red carpet stuff and all the rest of it, and he's a features presenter with We Love Movies on Spin 103.8 with Gordon, another podcast guest, every Sunday, I think. Also, he's a feature writer for followingthenerd.com, which is actually very good. He's a great piece about getting angry on the fucking cinema, which is what we talk about in this. We get into a good few things, like he's big into MMA. He does MMA with SBG, which is Straight Blast Gym, John Kavanagh's place, and just a good couple of stories about that. It was a good old chat, actually, this one. Could have rolled on for a bit more, but we're both caught for time. I think we just came in about the hour mark. Other than that, I'm going to get the fuck out of your faces and let you enjoy the podcast. So please go crazy, enjoy the fantastic Andy McCarroll. Andy McCarroll. I almost said Andy Carroll.
Yeah,
You don't mean many McCarrolls, do you?
No, I'm the last one.
Are you?
Yeah, it literally the line dies with me unless I have a son, which I don't plan on having. I'm sure there's probably some out there that I'm not taking credit for.
This is some Highlander shit, isn't it?
I killed the last one with a broadsword.
You just started off like Carl. Now you're Carl, then a McCarroll. So you've gained all the power. Where's McCarroll from?
Scotland, apparently, originally.
Of course, yeah.
Which is like anything you throw a Mac on, you assume it's Scottish. So, like Sean Connery, who was actually supposed to be Spanish in that film, now that I remember.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. Oh, my God. Do you know Edwin Salmon?
No.
He's often on... he plays Father Gabriel in Bridget Neyman. He was in... he's a bunch of stuff. I think he's had a bit in the Hardy books and stuff like that, but he's often on the Conspiracy Guys podcast as well. He does an amazing... He's a stand-up as well, but he does an amazing version of Sean Connery's Juan Pablos. Yeah. No change of his accent whatsoever, like not even a fucking effort.
Like he's played like a Russian submarine captain, and the accent doesn't change. And he's like one of the first people that had like a real like big scale. I remember was it Julie Walters? And he just said like, sometimes women like to have the last word, and you've got to give them a little slap. And she thinks, I've got him here in this like really awkward situation. And she's like, so you'll hit him? Yes, because you give them the last word, but that's not enough. So just a little slap, just to let them know. And you're like, okay, he somehow got away completely unscathed from that. He was part of like a Republican movement in Scotland. Yeah. He actually has like an anti-monarchy tattoo on his forearm, which you can still see it's faded, and he was knighted. Yeah, and if you donate so much to I think it's like Scottish independence, you get an actual like a signed letter from Sean Connery saying, thanks very much, keep up the good fight, like Sean Connery OBE at the end of it. You're like, kind of those kind of contrasting things there. He could get away with whatever the fuck he wants to get away with, couldn't he? Like he's turned down Lord of the Rings and The Matrix, and then he done League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because his rationale was, well, I didn't understand those two, I don't understand this, and they were hits, so I'll do them instead. Yeah, and they're not asking me to change my accent in these ones either. Like, gift. But still, you'd say Sean Connery, great actor. There's no getting away with it. Like, there's no getting away. But nobody looked how he looked. Nobody just, even in The Rock, like you're going, yeah, I totally believe that you were in prison. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But we were, how the kind of podcast this episode kind of came about. We were chatting on Twitter as a result of your man. What's his name? Paul Stenson from the White Moose. Yeah. Jeez, he's something else, isn't he? Oh, he's a lunatic. He's absolutely like he's one of those people that just presents a personality, but when you actually meet him in person, it's nothing like that. Like I met him actually through Twitter as well. He was round with the whole thing over the vegans and that thing, and I jumped in and kind of said, like, this is what he wants the publicity and all this. And a woman answered me and said, well, like, I'm talking about it now, so what's he doing there? So I responded to her, I was like, well, thank you for being the answer to a point you didn't understand. And he went, I love this. Anytime you want a free lunch in the cafe, pop in. So I kind of thought this was a piss take. Yeah. Popped in, he comes down. I brought a vegetarian as well, because I was hoping to be a bit of a piss take. Like, the next thing the staff come over and they're like, oh no, if you've any gluten-free options, you've this, you've that. And I was like, oh, this is kind of a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping for him to be like a narcissistic prick. He's actually one of the nicest guys you could possibly meet. That's what I'm guessing too, because if he was a total arsehole, like you'd see it in the faces of the staff, like, but they all seem to be happy as. He's bringing them to fucking Disneyland. Do you know? Of course. But he's like, he presents the whole Michael O'Leary, like, you know, but Michael O'Leary would set fire to you where you stand, like, you know what I mean, if you crossed him. But I do get a sense, alright, that there must be something alright with this fella, like, you know what I mean? I'm going there years and it's the same staff. Really? Every time I've gone in, like, I'm there, like, about 3-4 years ago, he invited me on, I've kind of gone once a month or so since. And it's the staff that hasn't changed since the time I've been there. So that's the sign. Must be kind of doing something. Restaurants are turning over staff like there's nobody's business. Jesus, really? So that's a good sign. Like, he's always kind of doing that. Like, you always see like that fucking thing with the influencer. You're seeing, oh, he said this and he said that. But then you'll see on Snapchat, you know, like there was one of the girls, she loved Darren. That was the like, Garrahy. Darren Garrahy. Yeah. Loved her, wants to meet her, and he organised for her to meet her at the cafe. Yeah. Nothing said about that now because it was something nice and it wasn't him being a prick, like, so it's good. Yeah, well, there's no publicity in happy, like, you know what I mean? But he's dead right in what he's doing, like, but it's you would kind of want to feel it, like, I saw a restaurant it was one of these 15 top or weirdest restaurants in America, like, you know, and there was ones, you know, where it's only all midgets serving you the food and stuff, and then there was one where their whole thing was the food was good, and it was like, you know, but it was burgers and chips and stuff, but the staff were to be as obnoxious, like slapping you and stuff, like, and just fucking a heap of tissues or napkins at you and stuff, and just that was the whole bag, like, was getting There's one in Vegas. Like a friend of mine brought me to that, but didn't tell me what it was.
Right.
So I walk in, and the waiter walks in. He's like, "All right, Grant. Well, obviously I can see what you're thinking. Your hair is that thin." And walks off, and I was like, "Hang on, did that?" Like I didn't realise what the fuck it was, and I was like, "What does he mean?" And my mate, of course, is that he has the worst poker face in the world, so he's hopping up and down. Like, this is going to be brilliant. And then I was like, "Is this one of these places that insult you?" So that just kind of ruined the whole thing straight away. But it was brilliant.
Yeah, had you not known about it, like it'd be great to bring you one of your parents or something to it, like, you know what I mean, like, but and tell them nothing, like, just to see how long the Irish attitude would go. No, you're grand, thank you. You know, because the Americans, like, that's one thing, they won't stand for. They'll hand over the money, but they won't fucking stand for it if you're going to give them shit. But so I suppose it's nearly ironic in their book. But Irish people would nearly take that on the chin and go, "Oh no, it's grand."
That's what I was asking one of the staff. I was like, "Did anyone ever because I came here unaware. It's like, did anyone ever try and swing for you or did try and do anything?" He goes, "No, I've had people walk out, but you know, they kind of everyone's afraid of confrontation. They just want to." You know, they'll just storm. They'll throw their hands in the air and just storm. Yeah, well, no one will actually physically do anything, or they tune into it and they'll try and give a bit back. Like, I'm doing this 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You're not going to beat me. Like.
Jesus Christ, yeah. We wouldn't have the population here to turn over, like because that's the other side. Like Irish people will be nice to a point, but then it'll get physical. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like I think we don't have the gumption sometimes to complain about food and all the rest. But it would get into a fight pretty handy with Irish people, like, whereas Americans would give lip service all day long, but I don't think they'd be up for a good old scrap, like. No,
it's like, that's kind of the Irish mentality. You'll sit there through a horrible meal, the waiter will come over, "Oh, everything's lovely, just I'm not coming back here." You're never going to complain, you'll just not go back, like.
But that's it, although I've gotten complaining of late, but more in a humorous way on Twitter, like, it was actually a day I was down here with Mike Sheridan, and I bought we'd said something about biscuits or something, and I said, "Alright, I'll pick up biscuits," and I picked up biscuits and Duns up the road. They were dust, essentially. These fucking cookies are dust. I took a picture, like, just going, Jesus Christ, Duns. You know what I mean? What am I supposed to do? You know, do I snort it? What do I do with these biscuits? And in fairness, they said, "Look, €10 voucher, so sorry, apologies, and there'll be a free packet of biscuits." So I'm just waiting for stuff now to pop up badly in a packet where I can bitch about it. But I'll do it as best I can in a tongue-in-cheek way rather than...
They're so terrified of getting like a negative publicity and that, like, you know, well-known comedian tweets this, next thing it goes viral and all anyone think of it is these dusty fucking biscuits they're picking up, like, so they're kind of...
But I'm careful on that one too, where I'm not going, "What the actual fuck?" You know, where I actually go, "Look, I understand somebody could have dropped these packet of biscuits," like, you know what I mean? It was the Duns up the road here on Wicklow Street anyway, so it's the busiest Duns in the country. Like.
I used to run a page called Love and Crumlin.
Love and Crumlin?
It's like a piss take of love in Dublin.
Oh,
so we do, like,
yes.
Like, so we had one, like, a plaque was being put up to commemorate McGregor's first hand job and all this, and people thought it was real. But one of the ones we put up was about, like, we were kind of picking on local businesses, but kind of in a humorous way. Like, when The Undertaker retired, we said he was going to work in Brian McElroy's funeral homes. But we'd one there where we'd kind of slagged off. It's like barber gives you 4 beers during shite haircut to distract you from how shite it is. And the one that was in the picture ended up was like, "I'm a small business." He goes, "A lot of people see your page. Would you mind kind of taking it down?" And then that was kind of the humor. It was like one thing picking on a Duns, another thing kind of take that down.
Wow, yeah, Jesus. I mean, I think I probably would. I mean, did people think they hardly thought it was real? Did they? Like,
we had 100,000 views on the McGregor thing, and about 500 comments saying this is a disgrace, you know, it's getting out of hand, that he thinks he can do everything. They genuinely thought this was real. And we had this, like, terrible Photoshop of him walking out the lane, and we had, like, a fake interview with the girl who it was, and she said, "Oh yeah, it was great, you know, he was telling me it's all about technique, slow and steady, I got him where he needed to go," like. And people thought this was real. They're like, "Oh, you can do anything you want. He's going to be on the money," because this was at the height of he was supposed to be being put on the money. You know, there was like fake blue plaque. It couldn't have been, like, I think actually in the Photoshop he's hovering above the ground as he walks through the lane. Like, we've no idea how to use the fucking thing. Like, but people think it's real.
That's amazing. I suppose, I totally get it because I was trying to work out, because you don't know, because you only know the handful of people you know. You don't really know who's in the universe of the internet, like, but you have to assume, you're like, they're all a bit like me. Yeah. Christ, they're not, like. No. Like, I remember, I was telling Pat McDonald one day on the podcast, because we were talking how we don't know, you have no idea what somebody's thinking or what they're fucking not thinking, more to the point. And I remember there was something about one of the lads from, I can't remember who it was, but they'd put up something like it was a lad smoking a fag, playing in jeans, but he'd football boots on and a jersey,
walking across the pitch, and the lads, somebody had titled it Junior B. Just Junior B, typical. And I wrote, because I knew the lads, I think it might have been the two Johnnies or something, I wrote underneath it, and there's just a guy in a football jersey, jeans and boots, and I went, and this was a fucking hurling match. You know, he wouldn't even... Now there's the humour, you got it, and yes, the two lads totally got it. At least 20 people underneath went, no, that's actually from a football match. And you're like, right, I get who we're dealing with now.
See now,
right.
like the likes of the comments in the Waterford Whispers. A friend of mine does the Crumlin Shopping Centre page.
Really, yeah.
And he keeps sending me screenshots of people direct mailing them, asking them, you know, when is the shopping centre open? And he's like, I'm putting up like pictures of like, you know,
Kim
Chinese
Jong-un
flags outside.
Yeah.
I don't actually. So he's telling them, yeah, we're open till 11 when it closes at 10. Just, you know, because they're too stupid to deserve shopping.
It's deadly dangerous, like, you know what I mean? Because that's the thing, you're just assuming that people totally get your irony.
Yeah.
And you know, the Waterford Whispers you can see sometimes because it's so harsh.
Yeah.
But you have to read. But people just read titles.
Yeah.
They don't read the actual.
You think at this point you see a Waterford Whispers headline, you'll know this isn't true.
You would think.
But you people eat fucking Tide Pods now, so you can't
Yeah.
you can't give people too much credit at the moment.
And this is the other thing, yeah. And I think the problem with people not getting Waterford is the non-reading of it. It's the subject matter. They'll put up a harsh one like a Maddie McCann one or something like that, and people go, oh well, too far.
Yeah.
They're like, no, read it first before you open your mouth. Like, but people don't want. They just clickbait. You know what I mean? They just, oh well, that's fine. I'll read the top bit and just go with that. Like, you know what I mean? But you had. You were, just to go back to the Crumlin thing, you were saying just before we fired up that there's a bloke, because where we are, we're in the International Bar downstairs where they do a Michael Collins tour, a walking tour, but which is some bit of legitimacy to it, because there was a film and everything. Do you know what I mean? Liam Neeson was in it. But there's a fella doing an MMA tour.
Yeah, I was friends coming over from the States, and of course they ask you, oh, what do I do? Me being Irish and lived here all my life, I've not done anything to
of course,
you know, I can give you a list of pubs.
Yeah.
So I was looking up things to do. So I was looking up walking tours, and one of the walking tours was an MMA walking tour and a bus. So what it is it starts off. You go to SBG, that was just around the corner, with where Owen Roddy used to be and where Mike Sheridan shot that the documentary.
Yeah.
Then it takes you on a bus up to the Longwell Road to see SBG. Now SBG is a closed. Like, I'm part of SBG myself. It's a closed members club. So you can walk into the hall and you can see the jiu-jitsu mats and part of a workstation. That's it. And if you're not supposed to be there, you don't get past a certain point. And I'd said it to Owen Roddy. I was like, oh, they're doing a walking tour of this, like, the whole... And he goes, no one told me. I don't know anything about it. So it's not as if they can walk in and see, like... There's people booking this tour coming over thinking they're going to walk in and McGregor's going to be on the mat and shake all their hands and everything.
I talked about this on the podcast before. There was cousins of mine were over for a week, and... They were over because their daughter would be, I suppose, my second cousin. She was competing in the World Dance Championships out in City West. So they and her two sons and her boyfriend were there. We all about the 17 age, and they adore McGregor, of course. And of course, the lads have some sort of semblance because their mother is second generation Irish. And they said it to me, "Can we go see McGregor's gym?" I went, "You can go see it, lads, but it's in between a bunch of fucking car lots. Like It's on the long, like, well, it's actually on the Naas Road. It's the Concord one, like, and I said, go on and have a look at it and I'll meet you afterwards and go have coffee or something, like, and they rang me up, couldn't find it. The Google Maps wasn't. So I said, geez, alright, I know where it is, just follow me. So took them from the Long Mile Road over onto the Naas Road, and I pulled in. I went, in you go, because I wasn't going to be the prick who was going to be told go away at the door, but they're all American, that's fine. So the next thing I see them wandering, all in the door they go. And they're not being thrown back out. So I wandered in being nosy. This must have been... The walking tours they must have gotten hip to this. Because you walk in the door now, and this absolute gentleman met him. He went, how are you? Lovely to see. We'd love to see SBG. They went, well, obviously you can see all the fighters training below. They're all training away. And they have an octagon set up on the ground. Yeah. With all t-shirts, all merch, all the way around. Photographs for everybody. Everybody bought a t-shirt. I was just flabbergasted because I was thinking, I was ready to look through the window going, they're getting fucked out. Nah, they were on it. So I wonder, has your man influenced them? Have they gone, we can flog a few t-shirts here, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like a shoptagon it's called. So you get like
shoptagon, yeah.
So it's like half a little octagon set up, but that's where you buy your like your jiu-jitsu soap and all this. So maybe they're getting the t-shirts and all that.
Like, I was flabbergasted because I was like, no way. But where else can they go?
There's no, and up until recently there was no even sign of him on it. They've got a big sign of him now.
Oh, of course they do, yeah. And the gorilla,
the day he ended up getting the new tattoo, so John Kavanagh got 1 day out of the sign. He spent the fortune on before McGregor made it completely out of date.
Legit, yeah. But and where else can they go on the tour?
But you get some lunatics up there. There was a woman up there one day who was like, she was convinced that he was her soulmate.
Oh,
so she was sitting out, so she kept walking in and out of the place all day. It's like, he's my soulmate, you know, I'm supposed to, when you meet him or fall in love. And it turned out Paddy Hewlin actually had to walk out and go, look, if he was your soulmate, you'd watch the fucking Embeddeds, and now he's in Las Vegas now. He's not going to be here today. So
was she Irish?
No, she was American. She flew over, or sorry, Spanish. She flew over from Spain. Just to meet him.
I have only noticed you'll never get that level of fame with something like stand-up comedy.
No.
Because people are kind of, who are into it, they have a level of cynicism themselves. And they're like, because there's a strong possibility the most famous comedian, like Jim Jeffries, popped over to the Stag's Head the other night and did 10 minutes to open it. You know what I mean? But he was doing the 3 Arena the following night. That's the level. But I got to see it. I was doing the University Concert Hall Panto with Dale Cronin this year. And he was in a band. They had 3 number ones. A boy band. Hasn't been in it in years. He's got 2 dance schools. Totally left that world. You would think. There was people travelling from the UK to see him. Jeez. Women, like, who... and he gives them the time. Like, there was 2 women who were... Like, he was only like 23, 24. But there was 2 women who were older than me. Were standing out in the piss and rain before one of the shows one night. Waiting on him. And they're just standing there. They travelled, one from Dublin, one from like Athlone or something, and they'd stand in the piss and rain. He chatted with them. Then they were hanging around afterwards after the show. Yeah. This is I
think people have that mentality when it comes to comedy. I could do that. Like, how many people come up to you and say, "I've got a joke for you"?
Oh, man!
Eddie Murphy does a great bit about that, where he's talking about, I'm a good-looking man. He goes, I'm getting pussy left and right. Not like no singers though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. You'll never, because I think people, they're like, I suppose it's too close to what they know, in that there's upstairs here in the International, there's no microphone. So it's so close to just a conversation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That it's like, there's no allure to this. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no rock star to this moment. We're in a dingy little bar upstairs and there's no microphone and we're 5 feet away from the bloke. Whereas there'll never be a Bieber-esque, like. No. Do you know what I mean? Because they're just on another, they're not even human, like. But you'd see the comments, like.
And you'd need to be personable to do it. It's not as if you could be like, like a Conor McGregor, just like an arrogant bastard. Because then people won't go and see it, because part of the allure come, I like him. I want to see him. Yeah,
exactly. Because most of it ties into the fact, like, I was touring with Tom Stade over in the UK just before the Panto kicked off last year, and like Stade was, you want to say, like, he actually hung around and had drinks with his fans. Yeah. I mean, you get 500 people on Tuesday night showing up, but they all are of the ilk. I'd go for a drink with that man. Yeah. They're not freakishly about it now, like, you know what I mean? Alright, there was a few that were a bit, like, they'd been to 4 shows of the same show that year, like, they travelled around the UK to see him, like. Yeah. But there was, but the Brits are kind of like that when it comes to fandom anyway, like, you know what I mean? They are happy to be fans. But I didn't think that was an Irish thing, but, like, when I can only imagine the level of crazy that McGregor must... Well, actually, he probably doesn't even go near it, like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's just that real cult of personality around him. Like, he's brought out the best and the worst in everyone. Like, there's meet and they're like, I've really gotten into martial arts because of him, and he's kind of opened the door to this. Then you've got people who don't watch anything but McGregor fights. And because I've been following this for years, I've trained myself a bit. Like, and they'll come over to you and they'll just present opinions as fact to you. Like, especially with that Mayweather thing. I was on the point of just saying, I'm not into it anymore. Because people are coming up, no, he's got a chance, he's got that left hand. I was like, Mayweather's been boxing since he was able to walk. Like, no, but he's never seen anyone throw a left hand. So I guarantee you he's seen a fucking left hand. He's been undefeated. I mean,
let's be honest, if you really fucking wanted to, he could have finished that in the second round. He could have just lit him up. But of course he had to make the money's work, like, because he dragged him into deep waters and sure. Look, I mean, there's no point in even going into it. But do you know what? McGregor himself knew it. Yeah. Like, he's from a combat sport. He knew full fucking well. He's got up against, like, doesn't matter, but he knew it. But he went, I'm making 100 million quid.
Yeah.
I'm pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. Like, can you imagine how many boxers worldwide were going, you dirty fucker?
Yeah. You can see it like with Malinage now. You can just see how much that's chipping away at him.
Like,
and he's released that like 2-second bit of him knocking him down and sparring. He's like, I've worked my whole life to do this. And he just saunters in, takes the money and runs.
It's a sickener. It is a sickener. But then again, like, he's like a cartoon character. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? The allure is there, like, with him, so you can't, like, you can see why it made sense.
Again,
like,
he's one of those, when you meet him in real life, and he's not like that at all. Like, he's the nicest guy in the
world.
Of
course,
like, I've seen often you'd be walking outside the gym, there's people queuing outside, and he'll stand there, like, for hours on end, like, it's finishing autographs and things like that. And if you're talking to him, he just seems, he's very engaged with how you're, he's in one of these, fuck off away from
you.
He'll ask you a question, like, do this. I know it sounds like a little small thing, but when you see, the cartoon character on the stage sauntering down New York shirtless or with like a Gucci coat.
But there has to be an element, like, you can know, like, Irish people would be able to see it. He has his tongue in his cheek the whole time, like. He's just going, I'm fucking getting away with this. How far can I push this fucking crazy train? Like, and see, because immediately the Americans loved him, like, and the Americans, because, I mean, for what reason? I suppose he has the whole Irish thing going for him. Like, I'm sure, so many of the diaspora and everything else. Like, and he's white. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Let's call a spade a spade. He's one of the few white blokes in that division. Like, you know what I mean? Who aren't from Hispanic backgrounds or South American backgrounds. Like, so people are just trying to relate. Sure, you can see the cousins. Like, they were like, oh, this. And you're like, no, you're as far away apart as you are with a fella from fucking Brazil. Trust me, you're not. He's from, but I was actually seeing an interview. Like, I mean, he plays. I know there's been a few articles written on him and stuff like that. Just the mean streets of Dublin. Yeah. He went to a fee paying Gael school. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Did you see that there's an ESPN one, and they said because of his fame, he's one of the few people that can cross the Crumlin Road into Drimnah.
Yeah.
Like, you make it sound like it's the fucking Gaza Strip. Like,
for fuck's sake.
People are crossing this every day. Like, they made it sound like it was like a bad day in Baghdad.
Yeah,
like,
phenomenal stuff. Like, but sure, look, you could talk it to death. Like, it is a phenomenon. Fair fucking play to him. Like, he may as well. I don't know. Would he even go back? Bother this whole going back?
I think he's one of those. He's just restless in what he does, and if he doesn't get a transition into films or a transition to something, which I don't think he's particularly bothered about either. I do think he kind of has that I want to be the best in it, and I don't think that appeals to him. He's kind of Alexander, I've no more worlds left to conquer now.
Yeah.
Depending on how that Khabib Tony Ferguson fight goes, like if Khabib absolutely beats the bollocks or Ferguson, I think he might go, well, this is another challenge that people think I can't do. Whereas if it's a close fight,
yeah.
I think he'd like one of them to smash the other one out, so then they can say, all right, you can't beat this guy, and that's what he gets off on. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. Like,
be interesting to see. I mean, he's bringing out whiskey and everything. Like, Jesus Christ, like
whiskey, claws. What's the other thing?
Apparently, the Wynn Hotel in Vegas have offered him like 2 years residency.
Yeah, he does all the after parties there now.
Jesus Christ!
He shows up, gets locked, and leaves after like 20 minutes. Like, and you see Roddy and Kavanagh there in the tracksuits where all these lads walking up in like 10 grand suits trying to get pictures, and these are like Roddy's from Ballymun, the nicest bloke you could meet in your life. John Kavanagh's never out of a tracksuit and t-shirt. And
that's hilarious. Like,
he actually, I tore my knee about 2 years ago.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever gone through like a bad injury. I couldn't walk, so I was like, you station your days, like, I've got one thing to do this day, and John Kavanagh's book was coming out, so I was like, okay, Tuesday I'm reading John Kavanagh's book. That's because I can't move from A to B.
Yeah.
So next thing he puts out a tweet and says, the Kindle, there's been a delay in the Kindle one, but the print one's there. So I tweeted a picture of the knee. I was like, oh, fuck you. And then he goes, like, get me on Tuesday. He's like, where do you live? He DMs me on Twitter, where do you live? And I was like, Green Hills, which is about 15 minutes away from the gym. He goes, okay. So I was like, maybe he's going to post me one out or something. About 20 minutes later, it's like, brother gets up the door and he goes, Conor McGregor's coach is at the door for you.
No way.
I was like, well, walks in with the book, signs it, grand, pisses off. Like, it was like about 5 minutes. I was like, is these the painkillers after kicking in?
That is a cool fucking story.
And it wasn't as if, like, it sounds like something, I'd done that for the publicity of that. Like, everything was done through DM on Twitter. Like, nothing he put up publicly. It wasn't until I put it up after. Like, he's after showing up and took pictures with everyone and was nice as pie.
That's unbelievable. But he does come across that way. But he seems even more. You just actually wouldn't put him together with the personality that McGregor puts out to the public, because he seems like a well-to-do, well-rounded, calm man. Like,
he's a qualified engineer. Like,
he strikes me as an engineer, like, because he's quietly spoken and probably a bit on the geeky side too. Like, you know what I mean. But he could easily be a science teacher. Do you know, that's what I'm seeing by him, like bar the lip ring, you know what I mean? Like, you know?
That's gone now, thank God. I've finally gotten rid of that.
It's a bizarre thing to even engage in. I'm going to put in a lip ring, but also be a jiu-jitsu coach. Like,
who's going to say anything to him?
Yeah, nobody's.
I'll twist you in knots, and if I don't have a team of fucking assassins here behind me,
not a fucking thing. Like,
but I just think it's the contrast between, like, I was doing the beginners class there, and Owen Roddy teaches that.
Yeah.
At the height of kind of, you know, McGregor was retiring, the thanks for the cheese thing, and he'd gone missing, and there was all these rumours coming out.
Yeah.
Owen Roddy had sauntered in, and he was teaching the beginners class, and I was like, what's actually happening? He's like, I was so tempted to put out a thing today and say, like, oh, you don't know what happened, he's after killing an Icelandic gangster over there, and he's trying to lay low. He goes, well, apparently I was told I'd be sued if I do that, because he'd lose merchandise sponsorship. And that's like, that's typical, like, you know, him just like the normal bloke that's like, this is surreal, like.
It's a bizarre thing, but sure, I mean, like, I did a hosting thing with Paddy Houlihan one time, and it was for a Dance with the Stars charity thing, like, and it was myself, Paddy Houlihan, and McGregor's sister, and it was funny, like, he was just saying how he has no interest in putting a public persona out there. But I said, you kind of have to. He goes, I fucking know I have to, but I hate it. Yeah. I absolutely hate it. I was talking about hunting and stuff. He goes, Jesus Christ, man. I'd go camping in the forest for a couple of days. Like, I was like, relax, Paddy. Wow. Relax. This isn't the hills of Montana. Like, you can go out in the morning and come back in the evening too. Like, but you could see all he wanted was just, like, even as we were supposed to give our merits on the people that were dancing, they were doing it for a charity. It was in City West. And, like, McGregor's sister, Erin, she was very good. She knew her shit about dancing. Affair, she danced a bit, like, and obviously she's on Dancing with the Stars now. And she was lovely. Like, she'd give, Ed would come to me and I'd say something obviously idiotic and comedic. He would go to Paddy and Paddy would be like, yeah, deadly. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Everybody, yeah, deadly. Yeah.
Well, again, he's another one of these. He played the shy day. I'd be the nicest.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Like, yeah.
I'd put up a thing. I'd slip the disc on my back, and I was kind of looking. There's like an SBG kind of Facebook group.
Yeah.
We're all, and I'd put up, "This is after happening. Has anyone got any advice?" And like, he sends me these like 3-paragraph email of, "Oh, well, it happened to me. I done this. I done that. Here's this doctor. Here's this number."
Wow.
And just, you know, like a former UFC fighter taking the time out to some nobody who like balls himself up in the beginners class, like, you know, to take the time to do that. Like, even if you watch through Tally, he's like the Lord Mayor.
Oh my
like,
God,
you know, leading everyone.
But it's like, I do find though people from martial arts back, like, that would have been my original background, would have been martial arts from the age 4 up to like 18 or whatever. But it was, I found, even I interviewed Richard Kiley he'd be a coach then over in SBG Tala. And it was the respectfulness is what struck me, like. Yeah. Do you know, because I wasn't, like, I know the MMA, I know some people in the MMA world and all the rest, but I was wondering, does this transition, or has it gone a bit soccery? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Is it a bit fucking not one, like, it was unbelievable, the manners out of all the children, like, the manners out of people that were even just sweeping the floors. Like, there was a lad fucking mixing a bit of concrete. Now, I could see he had an ear or two on him, like, so he was clearly a fighter. He was mixing a bit of concrete to make a footpath outside. Yeah. And he was like very respectful. It was nothing like what I was expecting. Like, just the manners out of everybody. And you could see they go out of their way to say hello to you and stuff. You know, and it didn't seem contrived in any way. It didn't seem, I better fucking say hello to this fella because you'd never know. Yeah, right, it just seemed to be manners driven. Like,
and I think a lot of that comes from like you said, John Kavanagh being the complete opposite of McGregor. I think that's. But you'd see it down the gym. Everyone. But
McGregor is the complete opposite of McGregor. Yeah. The McGregor that
you'd see
you put out is the complete opposite from what I've been told.
Like. There's a thing down SBG. It's not how tough you act; it's how tough you train. And I think people, like, you'd see, there's a lot of them down there. Like, it's like a terrible tattoo convention now. They've all got the kind of.
Oh, please don't say they're getting chest tattoo.
There's a few of them down there, but you think, he's going to be a little, you know, wannabe McGregor, and he's not. Like, he's the nicest guys in the world. Like Richard Kiley as well. He jumped in one of the class with me before, and we were doing like a spar. Now, obviously, he was baiting the shite out of me, but not in a control way. And I've never been as humbled in my life. Like, a guy who's hitting you, telling you what you're doing wrong before you're doing it. It's like, you're going to step off to the left there, don't do that, because then I'm going to do this. And I was like, hang on, I'll step off. And then move before he even said it. I was like, that's why I've got punched.
Oh, thank you, Neo.
It's hard. Like, jiu-jitsu for me was the worst one, because, like, in a fight, like a kickboxing or an MMA, like, you can still, no matter how bad you are, it's like people with comedy, they think they can do it. Yeah. People still think they can throw a punch, they can throw a kick, like. But jiu-jitsu is the most humbling thing in the world.
Oh yeah, you can have your whole handed to you, like, by somebody you would never expect. Like,
there's a coach down there, Joey Breslin. He looks like the kind of the geeky friend from an independent film. Like, he's got the kind of tussle hair, you know, like Hollywood's ugly, where he's actually gorgeous.
Yeah.
So we're standing waiting on one of the classes to start, and this little tussle haired Joseph Gordon-Levitt walks out. bumps his head off the. There's like a thing for the stereo, a shelf for the stereo. Bumps his head off that, so I'm looking on, look at this geek here. So he walks over into the middle of the floor. He's like, okay, everybody, can we all take our positions? Really soft spoken. I was like, he's the fucking coach. He's like, you. So he picks, because I'm usually the biggest in any of the class.
Yeah.
He goes, can you come down? Okay. So he sits between my legs. So he's like, okay, can you put a choke on me there? So I'm doing a voice that sounds nothing like him, by the way, just for party. So I put the choke on him. He's like, okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is he literally just turned his head into the crease of my arm.
Yeah.
And as he's doing it, he says, now to compensate for the choke, he's going to reach over. And before I'd even gotten my hand, I was like, wait, what did he say about the other arm? Grabs my other arm, rolls behind me, chokes me. And I was like, okay. And he said, okay, any questions? Like, okay, you were in front of me there a second ago. He's like, yeah. And then you were behind me. Yeah. What happened between there and then? Like, because he's 5'7", 5'8", like I'm 6'4", and just basically rolled around me and just choked me. I was like, oh my god, it was terrifying getting into a bar fight, right? Like,
that's the reality of it. Like, is that these fellas are absolute fucking savages. Like, but it's the same. One thing I always had a wariness around fucking boxers.
Yeah.
Because whatever about a street fight for a martial artist, like, I suppose that you got to take it to the ground and stuff gets weird then on the ground, and it's fine on a mat in a controlled environment. But like, you know those fellas you can tell boxed for years, and they maybe don't box anymore, but they still have that square neck. They missed the confrontation. They just have that squareness about them, like, and you just know, like, there's like comedian Chris Kent. He's over in the UK now. Like, I trained with Chris. Chris boxed for years when he was young, and you could still see it. He hadn't boxed in fucking a decade. And we went up to Celtic Warriors gym. We're both friends with a guy called Spike O'Sullivan. He's boxer as well. And
supposed to be getting the Daniel Jacobs fight.
Yeah. Oh, you get it all right. Like, he's in some rich vein of form now at the minute. Like,
what was the undercard of Canelo? Was he?
Yeah.
Christ out of your man's
butchered or something. He's breaking everybody's ribs. He's got the toughest. It was recorded. He's got the heaviest hit now in the professional middleweight division in the world.
Yeah.
They recorded it on that one, and they thought it was his knockout punch. And they came running in because they put sensors. They're putting sensors in all the gloves now just to see what they're talking about. Like, it was more to do with the concussion data, I suppose. But they went, no, it was earlier. You swung and you broke fucking 2 or 3 of the poor bastard's ribs with a punch. Like,
I love body punches. Like, I used to love when it was a Castillo we hit with it, and I love seeing the body shutting down and just
my god, I watched him like a few times, and it's a spectacle to go up there like to Celtic Warriors. Like, would you? I mean, they're not open to the whole to the public, like, but it's a spectacle to see him, and he's just the calmness of all these fellas, like, lovely gentlemen, like the likes of Luke Keeler's up there as well, and a couple of more of them. But to see Spike's body punches, it's one of the most hideous things, because you can just feel it.
Yeah.
Somebody's whole body shit, and it's not like you're hitting some fat fucker down the pole. This is one blow. Do you know what I mean? That's what fear I would have a fear about. One blow can kill you.
Yeah.
It's not a 2-second move.
No.
It's just one fucking farce could knock you the fuck out and kill you.
You'd rather he punched it in the face, because like the punch just seems like the pain comes in installments. It's like getting kicked in the balls. You're like, did that get? Oh no!
The wave comes on. Yeah. Like for him to break. Imagine what it takes through a glove.
Yeah.
A 16-ounce glove.
Like the middleweights are wearing the heavy enough gloves.
Yeah, and to take a swipe like to this. Oh my good Jesus Christ! But we were up there, and Chris hadn't boxed in years. Like, and we were just on the bags, and you could still see he was bending the bag.
Yeah.
A heavy enough old fucking bag too, like, still bending it. A stand-up comedian. Like. This now would put most fellas to sleep, like these digs he was throwing. And you're just going, wow.
Don't fucking heckle him, man.
Do you know? Well, he never would. He's the calmest fella, the calmest bloke on the planet. But
they're all like, because they get it all out kind of in the gym, and I just think they don't have anything to prove. Whereas you'll see people starting bar fights who don't have that outlet.
Merchants. Yeah. And that's what I talked to. Like, I think I talked to Will Fleury about it as well, and Richard Kiley, and to Spike. And Spike was my first guest, and he was like, well, I just don't have any anger in me outside of it. I'm so focused on and I was asking him, like, do you get nervous in fights? Because I'm more so nervous about, will I perform well?
Yeah.
I know I can fucking kill most people, like, but will I perform well? He says, and that's kind of what is all I get stressed about, really. But if
that's like they're kind of embarrassed by it, like when they're in the real world, they're like, don't bring that up. Like,
totally. It was like, which bucks the trend. Like you saw when McGregor went to the UFC, everybody was just, humble enough lads, turned up to the press conferences in tracksuits and just, look, we're happy enough to get on with the job. And there was a bit of lip out of the odd fella like Chael Sonnen and stuff, but even Tito Ortiz, bit of lip. Nothing fucking major. Just the lads were kind of knackery, and you know what I mean? There was just a bit of fucking... Next thing, up rocks your man wearing suits and shit, essentially taking the Chris Eubank and the Muhammad Ali fucking role, like, but just rocking up in this gear changed the whole thing. So it was very rare that fighters are so outwardly spoken, like, about what they can do to people and stuff, you know.
So it used to be a case of you'd get the likes of Chael Sonnen, and you get like people who that was their personality, or like in Chael's cases, like, my fighting style isn't particularly interesting, I need to sell myself something. But now everyone's trying to be it, and guys who isn't their personality, like, you can see Tony Ferguson trying to do it. It's like the McNuggets thing, you're just like, your man Lamas, who will start making like these little Irish leprechaun videos, and you're just like, this isn't your, just do your thing. Like. Yeah,
well, you see, you have to admit, you have to remember too, the piss pulling and the bowel chat is very much an Irish thing, like. Like, trying to go against an Irish fellow when it comes to piss pulling, like, which is what McGregor's essentially doing. He's pulling the fucking ribbon piss out of you, like, and trying to go against an Irish fella, especially like the poor all-American fellas. Like, it can be summed up perfectly with your man. What was his name? Was it Stevenson? Is it
Jeremy Stevens?
Stevens. Like, Jesus.
Like, for the rest of his life,
he will be that guy. Who the fuck is that guy? But it was when like, did you see them? Like, there was a couple of like, I don't know what you call them, memes or gifs or whatever, but it was like, who the fuck is that guy? And then it zooms in, it's like, hello darkness, my old... it's fucking brilliant. But you can't go up against somebody as lippy as a Dublin fucking crumbling lad. You're never going to beat him in a sparring argument when it comes
going into a battle of wits unarmed.
Forget about it. He already has the upper hand. He's got a ridiculous big tattoo. His suits are 60 grand suits. Do you know what I mean? You can't
He's wearing a white suit. He's got a crown tattoo on his neck. There's nothing you say is going to embarrass him.
No. But you have I was reading, you wrote a very good piece that I fully merit, or fully get behind. It was a bit about, you're sick of the cinema.
Yeah.
And I was reading down through it, and it was like,
It's just become the most, like, for a place I absolutely love going, it's just the most frustrating place in the world to go to now.
What day of the week was that you went? Because your article, it's up on, is it your website?
No, it's a website I write for. It's called Following the Nerd.
Yeah, followingthenerd.com.
Yeah.
Is it
.com.
Yeah. Just to make, because you'd never put the, but what day of the week was it you went?
That was on a tour, that was on a Friday, sorry.
On which cinema was it?
It was in Dundrum. The Begin Again one that I seen was Dundrum, but this has happened again.
You haven't been to Rat Mines, have you?
Yeah.
Have you? Jesus Christ.
It's great. The
Stella
or the Omni?
The Omni, and I made... is that the one in the Swan shopping centre? We made the mistake of trying to go in there on a Saturday night. Forget about that.
Yeah.
It was like World War Z. There was just fucking throngs of people just... It was the most phenomenal... Yeah. So this is horrific. I wouldn't queue to see fucking... I wouldn't queue like this anyway, but let alone to go see a movie that I just flippantly threw the idea of, like, just the level of asshole that we walked away in the queue, like, I was like, if this is what the queue is like, the cinema is going to be dog shit.
I have to say, that's one of the really well behaved cinemas. I've kind of...
But you're talking about the behaviour inside there. Yeah.
But it is, there's kind of... There is that, especially now with piracy being as, like, back in the day, if you wanted to watch a film, if you wanted to get a pirate video, you know, it was a guy sitting in the cinema with people walking in front of you. Now they're ripping them straight from online, so you're getting, like, cinema quality in your house, and you're not paying €400 for popcorn either.
So is it that people have lost respect for the cinema?
Yeah, I think people, smartphones, I know everything gets blamed on smartphones now, but I think people have that kind of separation anxiety, or they'll be sitting, they're sitting at home and they're kind of so, and I do it myself. I'll be sitting there, if I'm in a queue, I'll take out the phone, I'll scroll, like, I wouldn't even be reading, I'll just scroll through the bottom of my timeline to the top of the timeline with Twitter, and then just put it back in my pocket. Like, I went to see what was All the Money in the World there, and I've gotten to the point, I go to the cinema like 2-3 times a week,
right?
And I can pick out coming in who's going to be trouble, who's not, and especially the type of films.
What are we talking about here now? Like, see, All the Money in the World. Who was the asshole in that queue?
So, a girl comes in her juicy couture tracksuit with the boyfriend, and both of them are on the phone already. I was like, sit down beside me. It was
terrible
two
people.
Girls and the fella.
Like, terrible people, like.
Straight away, they're on Snapchat. So, fantastic. And I was like, you can kind of tell, not to kind of stereotype. It was like, you're not going to understand or enjoy this. This isn't the film for you.
Trust me, we get the people that listen to this podcast are the sort of people who don't complain.
36 times she took out her phone to check Snapchat. Because she sat down and made a conscious decision before the
2-hour movie?
About 2 hours, yeah. It's about 2 hour 15. So it worked out, it was like once one of her friends done it. It was once every minute and a half she took out the phone.
Jesus Christ.
And then there was a guy in front of me, answered the phone in the middle of the cinema. And then another woman who was sitting in front, she kept taking out her phone and checking her messages. And a guy beside her said, "You put the phone away." And her response was, "I'm just looking at my phone. Like, what's the big problem here? I'm just looking at my phone." And
like, I just scratched my cheek. Like,
like, this is a perfectly normal thing to do. And it just, you can't enjoy it, because then my head's on a swivel, then I'm looking when he's on his phone. And it gets into like a numbers game.
Yeah, no, I get it.
He's doing that, so I'm adding up what's going on. And I get annoyed very easily, as you can tell.
I completely,
But it just takes you out of the film completely. Like, I kind of know what films to go to and where to go. So like, I think the Omni's grand for something. Like, when you see The Post, it was grand. You kind of know it was kind of an older crowd like that. Like, I wouldn't go and see that in, like, like The Square or something like that. And
we went to Mullingar the other night because we were just driving and just went, you know what, let's see. And we went to the Greatest Showman. And do you know what? Looking around, I was going, this is going to be trouble.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more wrong. There was no trouble. Nobody was looking at their phones around me. It was a completely different vibe. People were sitting quiet as fucking mice watching this thing. Now, I will say, it is a movie that, if you're up for it, it's essentially like going to an amazing West End musical. Which it doesn't give you the opportunity to go, I must check the old phone here.
Yeah.
There's no dead space in that movie. I'll give him, like, it wouldn't be my normal cup of tea, like, but I could totally appreciate what they were doing. Like,
he's a talented prick, isn't he?
He's just, like, he was clearly playing a man in his 30s. He's almost 50. Looks as fresh as Daisy. Sings like a fucking angel. Looks like a god.
Yeah.
And, like, can dance then. You're like, fuck.
And that other fucker, Zac Efron, beside him as well. And you're just
the only saving grace,
poking me belly there at me Maltesers in my hand going,
oh my god. I mean, the only saving grace with your man, Zac Efron, is he's about my height.
Yeah.
Your man, the other guy's like Hugh Jackman's like a 6'2" god. Yeah. Like 6, you know what I mean? You're going, jeez. But you know what? You can only but have a serious man crush on the side, like, because he turns out he's a ridiculously sound bloke on top of that 10 as well. Like, so it was Gordon Hayden. I was asking who's the soundest, like, and he was going, Jackman would be up there with one of the gases whoers you'll meet, like, 100%. I was like, why didn't you tell me who's a prick?
Yeah, you kind of want that as well.
Yeah.
Like, there is a few of them like that. I think, you would be sound, and then they turn out like I do the red carpet stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a comedy of errors at the best of times. Anyway,
great.
Like,
You're not quite Dennis Pennis though. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm just naturally socially awkward, and then throw me in front of like a celebrity, and it's just going to get 10 times worse.
Who did you fluff your lines in front of anybody in particular?
Russell Crowe was one where he was over for The Water Diviner.
Oh, lovely.
So he was directing that. So of course he shows up about 25 minutes late. So the way it works is you do the red carpet line in the Savoy. It's inside, and they meet the crowd outside, and then they come in, and then you go in and watch the film. So you usually get like a +1 to these things. So I brought my brother. My brother's like 10 years younger than me.
Right.
So I say, you get pictures with me and Russell Crowe, try and record. If I miss anything on the recordings, you can take it. Grand. So Russell Crowe walks up, and you're listening, because like every question they're asking the same, and you can kind of see. So a few questions. I'm going to ask him something no one's asked him. So he got to me, and I'd heard he'd bought the rights to the Bill Hicks story, and he wanted to play Bill Hicks. So I was like, I hear you've bought the rights to Bill Hicks. I think that's a great fit.
He'd be a great fit, yeah.
So he puts his arm around me, and they've got like, how they work the press line is they've got like a publicist walking in front of them, essentially. They pretend like they don't see them, so they'll talk to, let's say they talk to you, you get 2 questions, so the publicist will walk up to you and say, Tom, you have 2 questions. He'll walk up, he'll ask the 2 questions, she'll move along to make it look like he's not the one that's ending the interview.
Yeah.
So he comes up, I ask him about the Bill Hicks thing, and he leans over, he's like, puts his hand on my shoulder, he's like, I guess I'm dying to, he goes, but the thing is, it's with 2 studios, so I can't say that I want to do it because they're going to do that, because to be honest, I can't really answer your question. It's like, alright. Next thing, the publicist grabs him and moves him along. I was like, stands in front of my brother. Now my brother's just there because I've asked him. He's standing there like full of hands in his pockets. And there was been a rumour that Russell Crowe had gone to see a Leeds game during the week. So my brother standing there, hands in the pockets, and goes, you buying Leeds or what? And I'm like, oh my god, I'm wrong. this is...
Who are you doing this for?
I was doing this for Following the Nerd.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I was like, this is it. They're going to pull my credentials because, of course, the publicist is there. She's from the studio, and if she hears this, she goes, who let this idiot down? Next thing, Russell Crowe launches into this spiel about Leeds United. And he's like, oh yeah, I was over here doing A Beautiful Mind, and I got mad into soccer over here, and I picked Leeds were my team because, you know, a friend of mine, he was into them. I'd gone to a couple of games. I own a rugby team over in Sydney. I don't know if you know
the Rabbitohs, yeah.
So my brother's like, no, did not. So he was like, okay. And then Russell didn't know. Just completely no selling him. He's like, okay.
Go on, tell me more. So yeah, go on.
He's like, the thing is, guys, when the rumour came out, Leeds had lost 5 games in a row. But then when this came out, they won 3, drew 1. So maybe it was the kick in the arse they needed. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, selfie with you. He's like, yeah, no problem. And he has this, I must show it to you. It's a picture of, like, it looks like Russell Crowe's met, like, you know, someone who he's idolised his whole life. My brother's just kind of got this, like, little cool, oh yeah, fucking Russell Crowe asking for a picture again face. So he walks off, and then the brother turns around, I'm fucking better at this than you are. Like, nice one, yeah.
And is there, like, the Russell Crowe one is just he's the gift that keeps on giving. It would seem like, because talking to people, like, I mean, did you ever see that late one he did? Like,
yeah.
It was one of the greatest, most awkward shitting things I've ever seen. Because he'd obviously had a skinful on board too, like. But it was when he started shouting at the audience to fucking clap and tune around, clap it all. It was just beautiful.
Well, I kind of like that because it's more of a personal thing. I remember the thing a couple of years ago where the girl asked him would his rugby team play the Irish team, and he kind of very. He goes, oh, that's rugby union, and that's rugby league. Goes, that's different. Yeah, but a friend, he goes, no, you don't understand, they're 2 different. And he was really nice about it. He's like, oh, they're 2 different sports, they're 2 teams that wouldn't do it. She goes, oh, but yeah, a few years ago you said that England and Ireland was the same place. And he's like, no, I misspoke, I said that. And she kind of went after him, and he's like, what was that for? Like, and even in the queue for that, I was watching, because I was terrified meeting him, because last you kind of heard him when he's smacking people with phones in the reception of hotels. So I was kind of a bit on guard, and he shows up and he's got this, like, short, he's wearing New Balance runners, he looks like he punched the head off you.
Yeah.
But there was people like grabbing him in the queue. He's like, put a picture, and he's like, yeah, Grant, anyone who was nice to him, he was nice to them.
Yeah.
But this guy like leans over and grabs a hold of his short and pulls him back to take a picture. And he pushes away from him and goes, here, watch what you're doing, mate.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's what's in the paper. Russell Crowe loses the rag with fan. I was like, but he was nice to, like, 60 people in the queue.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If he belted somebody with a phone, I'd say there's a fair possibility that person was asking for it too. Like you put yourself in his boots, like, do you know, he's probably not custom built to be, because he seems like the sort of, regular old Joe Australian, like, where you have to be a certain sort of breed of human to be able to put up with that old shite all the time, like, where you can just go glaze-eyed. Yeah. But when somebody sounds you, like your brother going, behind Leeds, is it? Yeah. He's just like, sound, normal conversation. But I would imagine, like I do the fucking various, you would too, like, if somebody's pulling out, you get off to fuck, like, I think it takes a certain type of fucking Will Smith level of just pure pro. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, of course. Or,
Yeah, people like we had those, the Daddy's Home one a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was Will Ferrell, John Lithgow, Marky Mark, and Mel Gibson were over.
Yeah.
So John Lithgow comes down. John Lithgow was the nicest guy in the world. He was brilliant. And again,
delighted with the work too, I'd say.
He's not doing too bad for himself.
I suppose he's not. He's not.
Just won an award for he's doing The Crown. He's playing Winston Churchill.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Well, he comes down as, like, again, what had happened was it was kind of serendipitous. I was with my cousin's kids and reading a story, doing all the voices, grand. But I looked, and the author was John Lithgow, and I was like, that can't be the same guy. And I was like, how many fucking John Lithgows are there? And it turns out he writes these children's novels as well. Like, I grew up watching him in, like, Raising Cain, and he's in Dexter. He's like an evil bastard, and he's writing these kids' books. So I had that kind of question ready for him doing the research. I found out he used to do the voice of Yoda on the when you used to get the cassette tapes of the films.
Really?
Yeah, he would do the voice of Yoda in the books.
Why didn't the bloke do the... I suppose he had too much money.
Sweet Frank Oz dollars. But I said it to him, I was reading the kids' book, and he's telling me all about, like, how he got into the kids' book because his sister was younger than him. He used to do the stories as a kid. And then I mentioned the Yoda thing, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm really... I was like, can you still do the voice? And he's like, impatient he is. Like, brilliant.
Brilliant. Talk about sound bites, like boom, boom, yeah.
Marky Mark walks by. I've previous with Marky Mark from the last time.
Of course you do, yeah.
He's just the most disengaged prick. I know I'm going to ruin any chance that I've had. So he goes by, and I love a big boxing fan, as we thought, a big MMA fan. So I asked him about The Fighter. I was like, is there any chance we're going to say that it ends before... Like, the film he done, The Fighter, was about Mickey Ward. And Mickey Ward's known for he's 3 bloodbaths with Arturo Gatti, which weren't shown in the film. Which is kind of like doing a film about Alex Ferguson and not having Manchester United as part
exactly.
of it.
It only got him to the point, like, you know what I mean? And it was...
I really enjoyed the film. I was like, oh, this is good. Because I was sitting there waiting. I was like, geez, we're 2 hours in. They haven't got to the Gatti fight. These are going to be fantastic. And then it just ends. I was like, well, I assume that's going to be the second one. So I asked him about that, and he's looking around. He's like, yeah, no, I think I'm a bit old to do that. And just sauntered off. Like, didn't look at me once, didn't ask the question, didn't engage me in any way. So the second time doing that, I was like, okay, I'm going to ask him something. Maybe sick of that question. I'll ask him. He's got like the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. Yeah. So he comes down, he's standing again. I was like, I read up like every stat about his charity going. I was like, you've done this and this is looking to be doing. He's like, what? And he looked at me like he'd never heard of this thing before. And I was like, this is clearly something you filled out to do like a tax for. I was like, okay. He goes, they're doing great work down. And again, just next thing the guy beside me shouts, I was in New York, I went to Wahlburgers. And he's like, Wahlburgers, really enjoyed it. He knew all about that. I was like, Jesus, I was like, so that's...
Wow, yeah.
Well, just, when you see the like, I'm sure none of them want to be there.
Yeah.
Like, like, you've done your press, like, I'm at the lowest of the low at that. So you do, like, you have the likes of, Jonathan Ross or, people like that who are interviewing, celebrities who want to be there. Then you've got the junkets with the kind of, the guys like, Mike Sheridan and things like that. The guys who are just below that, and then you've got me who's doing like trying to get 2 questions on a red carpet. So I'm sure I'm like low
I suppose,
priority.
but at the same time, here's the I mean, there can be no it's still one of the softest fucking jobs a man will ever do in his life. Like, is to walk down and be asked questions. Yeah, just ask questions. That's it. No, like, not ask questions like, that's going to get you in trouble. Yeah. Like, why didn't you do that job? Yeah, you're just being asked questions in a polite way by people who are tripping over themselves to be utterly like, as I remember joking, even while like any acting gig I've ever done or anything, and you're going, there's long out fucking days, fair enough, but there's still some poor bastard is fucking milking a cow somewhere in the piss and rain. There's some poor bastard up at scaffolding just after hitting his fucking thumb like with a hammer, and you're going, but I cannot complain about what this is like. You can't. No. And the massive money that, like, Wahlberg, like, he got $1.5 million to fill in for fucking... Yeah, I got called on that very quickly and had to give it away. She got badly done. Yeah. Like, what was her name again? Michelle Williams. Well, I think, like you've said, what was her name? But, his name. Right, they tried to make it about... But Jesus, do you think she'd get the fucking price of a second-hand car? She was getting 80 quid a day or something like that. $5,000. She just took the per diem money, basically. And he wanted to renegotiate because he was shooting essentially what he thought was another film. Well, I suppose, you see, it's not down to him either. Yeah. Like, there's people making money off him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there's, like that, you'd be guaranteed somebody set up that foundation with his name. Yeah. Not just for tax purposes, but there'll be somebody whose job it is to run that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there's someone to say, like, Mark, especially someone with him with such a kind of... Well, it's a great name. Colourful past, but it's a great name, Wahlberg. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not Tim Ryan. No. Do you know what I mean? It's a great name, like, you know it's a brand that's going to open doors. Like, I'm sure once a year he goes, meets a few kids, goes in the piss and gives away a bike or something like that. That's it. Like, even a name like Will Ferrell, it's not a great name. No. Do you know Willie Ferrell could, collect your bins, like? The most deceptively handsome man I've ever met. Deceptively handsome? Yes. Right. Like, you see him in films, he's kind of this curly haired goof. I met him in real life. He has, this is going to sound so ridiculous, he's got these, like, stupidly blue movie star eyes. But see, you're tall, so you'd be much taller than your average Irish person, so you're probably very close to looking at his face, whereas an Irish person will only ever get to look at his like, I met him in Longford. He was on the rip, like I talked about this but he walked into a pub that we were rained off a job when I was in the buildings, and we went for a couple of pints, and we were the only lads in the bar, 5 of us, just chatting, and he walked in with his outlet and another fella and bought us all around the drinks. Within 5 minutes the bar was rammed to the rafters, like, and he still put his credit card behind the counter, and everybody was drinking. But in that, he'd let the hair grow out. It was obviously between movies or whatever, and he had a Phil Lynott going on, but I didn't. But more his charm more than anything. Like, I think is what. Well. Like, he's walking with a funny charm. Like, there's. But there is a kind of a twinkle in the eye. Like, there is. Yeah. There's a boldness to him. Like, Like, he came up and it kind of caught me off guard. He walked up and he's like, "Oh, hey Andy, how are you?" Because the guy in front of me, there's a fella he's kind of notorious for the red carpet. He has these, like, he just has a Mark David Chapman look about him. Like, I'm convinced he's going to shoot somebody at one of these things. Fuck. But he was talking to him and he's like, "I think me and you would get on. Me and you would be really good friends." And I was like, he says to you? And he's with, no, it's Will Ferrell. All right. And I was like, and he's with, like, a fairly
decent enough outlet. Like, I was like, what in the name? And you can kind of see Will Ferrell's head, like, looking, going, get me away from this. And I was like, okay, so I have to go after him now, and he's after ruining that.
Yeah.
But Will Ferrell walks up, hey, Andy, how you doing? I was like, the fuck do you know my name? Forgetting I have a big lanyard with the name and the outlet, and I was like, oh yeah, grand. So I brought a Guinness chocolate with me as a kind of, this was my first time doing the press. Like, I need a gimmick because I don't want to ask the same questions as everyone else. And he's like, oh yeah, is there alcohol in this? I was like, not enough to get you drunk. Well, maybe because you're an American. He's like, all right, let's break it off. So me and him are sitting there eating the chocolate. Like, oh, damn.
Brilliant.
But again, it's like a little personable moment, like him having 2 squares of chocolate with me and saying my name that he's seen on a lanyard.
And you felt dreamy into his eyes,
The worst one for that was probably Alan Rickman, where I just completely besought. Like, I had this...
Really?
Oh my god. He was over for the Jameson Film Festival.
I will never be able to get him having no genitals in Dogma. Like, that is everything. Not Michael Collins, nothing. No. For some reason, Alan Rickman, boom, drops his trousers. No cock. Not that I'm disappointed, but I'm just... For some reason, that's the image of him I can't get out of my head.
Well, it would kind of make Love Actually a very different film then.
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah. Just buying a necklace for the crack for a woman. Like, there's no.
He's actually just a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he was over. He was directing a film called A Little Chaos with Kate Winslet. It was his first. I think it was the only film he directed. And he was over for the Jameson Festival doing that. So we're doing the press line again, but it was done in Cineworld. So it kind of, when you got to the end, she was like, okay, so it started off with like 15 people, and then you'd ask your questions, Grant. Right, Tom, you fuck off now. You asked your question, Grant. So it ended up it was just me and him.
Yeah.
So I was talking away, and I turned around, I've kind of finished, and the publicist had gone. So it was just me and him standing there. So I'm like, I didn't ask during things. I just want to say I love Die Hard. I'm a big fan. I've done this, and I thought it was amazing. Like, you were 41, I think, when you got like his first. Like, Die Hard was his first acting role in a film.
Was it?
Yeah. First film he ever done was Die Hard, and then couldn't get a role for years afterwards because people thought he was actually German.
Oh my god.
So I was saying on this, and it was grand. And Kenneth Branagh was over for Cinderella. He was about 10-15 yards away. He was doing kind of the same thing.
Oh yes, yeah.
And there was a rumour going around, it's still actually in trend, they're doing a Die Hard film where it's going to be a prequel and a sequel. So it's going to start off with John McClane now, and then his story, and then it's going to flash back to when he was like a beat cop.
Right.
And I was like, have you any involvement in that? He goes, no, I can't imagine I'd have anything to do with that. And I said, I could picture you and Kenneth Branagh would be like a good addition to the triplets. You could do a prequel with the Gruber brothers. So he does that. I did like the kind of single laugh. He's like, he goes, could you imagine the mother? And I said, I can see Judi Dench doing it. Stands in, puts his arm around me. I will, like, just, that, I can't even do the voice. It's just fantastic. Yeah. My dear boy. And he takes the phone out with the other pocket. I'm going to call her now, because I want to hear the name she's going to call you when you say she's old enough to play my mother. So I'm standing there with like Alan Rickman's arm around me while he's calling Judi Dench. I'm like, let's get Dame Judi involved. Why not? Like, so he brings the car. The phone was off, goes to voicemail. So he's like, I'm here with a young man. Give me a call back, Grant. And I was like, oh, that was surreal. So, finished up. He goes in. He had to do an introduction for the film.
Yeah.
So, when you walked into the screen in Cineworld, he was at the front of the screen. So, when you come in at the front. So, I walked in and he was there doing the introduction with, I think it's Grania Humphreys, is the girl that organises it.
Right.
So, I'm walking by to get to my seat, and he sees me.
Yeah.
And takes the phone and goes, she hasn't called back yet, you're safe. And I walked back over.
Class.
And then just to totally ruin it, I gave the double thumbs up.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, Jesus. I had this like cool moment that I've just ruined by
2 thumbs up.
Just slinking back to my seat on. I made a show of myself in front of fucking Snape.
Oh my god. Yeah, Snape. Oh my god. But so around Dublin, what's the best cinema and what's the best time? Because, as you say, you've been to, you go to 3 movies a week at least. Like,
for me, it's probably the Lighthouse and the Omni and Rat Mines I really like. That's kind of my local one. You get a good mix of people. It's very rare you see people on the phones and that. Very rare you have people talking during the film, because that seems like a kind of a cinema goer cinema.
Yeah.
Same with the Lighthouse, and especially with the Lighthouse put on these, like, we went to see Rocky 4 there a couple of months ago.
Oh, right,
and it was the best crack I've ever had in a cinema.
Really?
They had cocktails beforehand called Rocky Balcolas. So we go in and we are fucking slaughtered going into it, like.
Brilliant.
So the films now, Rocky is basically 2 montages. It's the fight with Drago.
Yeah.
Then you've got the fight, and then you've got 2 training montages in between that.
Yeah.
So there's no story to the
film.
So the whole thing was just everyone cheering and shouting. So that you had the Creed Drago fight, people cheering like it was real, like it was live. Like, get up, you fuck, get up. Then there's one scene where Adrian's talking to Rocky, and she's like, you can't win. I'm Jared. I was like, go back to the fucking pet shop.
Go back to Rocky 1, you stupid bitch.
But it was just like everyone cheering like it was a real fight. It was fantastic, and like it was just absolute deadly crack that you wouldn't really get. You know, like,
wow.
where there's an audience like that, it's brilliant. But again, you could go and see something like, you know, the Clint Eastwood or the Kurosawa retrospective, and you people would sit there kind of studiously watching it.
Yeah, I went to see Beetlejuice in the Lighthouse. One of my favourite films of all time. And I was steaming as well. Everybody sang.
Yeah.
Just sang along to the whole thing. It was fucking brilliant. But I think probably the best environment I've ever experienced is a cinema, because it irks the shit out of me. Alright, people have to open their fucking food and all the rest of it, fair enough. But it's, the phone shit, the talking shit. What did I go, I was almost at the point, I can't remember what we were going to see, but there was ads for 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
The first one were coming on, and there was I don't even need to tell you the kind of breed of humanity that was sitting in front of me. Like, but this woman pipes up. They were like, when the ad came on, it was basically like porn had just come on, and this one just took off shouting across the road to her mates, going, "Oh shit, I'm after watching it 4 times. Somebody put out the fucking wet floor signs, will you?" And you're like, will we just leave altogether, will we, before this fucking movie starts? Because this animal down the front, all of them on the phones, just lit up the whole thing. But I think the best one I ever went to, and it was for 2FM, they sent me just to see what I think of The Revenant, or The Revenant. And the handiest time to go for me was 10 o'clock in the morning to the one out in Liffey Valley. There was me and 3 other people in this huge, like, 300-seater fucking yoke. It was the most glorious I've ever gone to the cinema. Me and just 3 other people fucking watching this, and it cost like £6. It was perfect.
I think I'm spoiled because I get the press screenings and the multimedia ones where if it's a big one, they'll take the phone off you as you go in, and they'll put it in a bag outside, or they'll have a security guard standing at the front of both sides of the screen. So if anyone takes out their phone, get the fuck out. Like, so I'm kind of spoiled with that.
But why isn't that surely there's a blocker they can put anyway.
I think because cinemas are kind of gone down. Like, the Lighthouse is good because it's kind of underground and you're not going to get much of a phone.
Yeah.
But I think because attendances are going down with like the internet and piracy, you're not going to afford to put somebody in every screen. Like the little young fella who's there on his like half term from college or something, sticks his head in once every hour or so. Like, he's not going to see.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, and you can't really. You probably don't want to be giving people a bollocking either, because they'll go, "Fuck, I'm not going back there."
Once, and that backfired about as badly as anything could possibly backfire.
Yeah.
I was in a cinema in Australia. We went to see Quantum of Solace, and these people just kept talking the whole way through the film. Blah blah blah. So about an hour in, I was like, "Will you shut the fuck up?"
Totally, yeah. You're warranted, yeah.
End of the film. Turns out the entire row were with each other.
Oh Jesus!
So we walked. The train station was around the corner. Next thing, the 15 or 20 of them walk around the corner. I was like, bollocks. So your man walks up to me, so I was like, "All right, we're going to get a hide in here." So me and the mate straight away just jumped in and started throwing digs. By the grace of God, 2 policemen happened to... I said policemen like I was in the 50s and in the middle there. Walked around the corner.
2 bobbies.
And saw 2 gentlemen policemen swinging their truncheon. Yeah, bit of silly bother going on here, is there?
Couple of silly names.
Couple of ruffians and the hooligans. Walk around the corner and see this going on. I was like, oh yeah, I said, what happened? I was like, I gave out to them in the cinema. And he's like, okay, you 2 get on this train. You used to wait here for the next one. So of course get on. So we're like giving it the fingers as we're going by on the train. Like, I'm 26 at this point.
Yeah,
way too old to be doing this.
No.
I was like, yeah, I won't be confronting people in the cinema ever again.
The maddest one I ever heard was lads. They had a kind of dare. It was down in Cork. I was working with a fella, and every week they'd go to the cinema as just as students. They go to the cinema, and it would be they go in the middle of the day when there was nobody there, probably to drink a lash of cans and watch a fucking movie. But one of the lads one day, they were always trying to outdo each other. So lads used to wear like costumes and stuff just to see could they just so the lads could have a laugh walking in. One of the lads brought a disposable barbecue in and started frying up sausages. So but yeah, he won. They all got fucked out, but he did actually win. And what else on like because you're on with Spin as well, and is that just purely for movies then, is it?
So I do the Wheel of Movie show with Gordon Hayden on Sundays at 12.
Yeah.
Plug there. And Gordon would do like the reviews, and mine is the feature. So I kind of love the what ifs, the kind of weird ones. So I'd send on Gordon, 4 or 5 ideas, he'll pick, that one, and I'd flesh it out then. that's how I kind of got started. I tore my knee playing football.
Yeah.
And I was like bored 3 days a week. Like I used to play 3 days a week. I had nothing to do, so I decided I'll take up weed and Doritos. So
fair enough. Yeah.
After putting on about 3 or 4 stone, my girlfriend kind of went, "Why don't we do something other than drugs and getting fat?" And I was like, "Okay, fair enough." She's like, "Well, what would you like to do?" I was like, "Oh, well, I like watching TV. I like films. I was like, write something about that." So I started writing. I wrote off to a few websites.
Yeah.
One got back to me, and I wrote a piece about film trailers that spoiled the whole film.
Yeah, which they're all fucking doing nowadays, like.
So there was one for Spider-Man, the one with what's his fucking face, Andrew Garfield.
Oh, the annoying head, yeah.
Where they'd released 47 minutes of footage before the film had been released. They'd 4 trailers, TV spots, behind the scenes, little clips. So they'd 47 minutes of the film, and someone on YouTube had made a cut of the film into start, middle, and end, and you miss nothing, because in the trailers they showed the end scene, they showed the post-credit scene as well, where he's fighting the rhino, and someone had edited it into a film, and you miss nothing watching that. You save yourself 15 quid in 2 hours of your life. So Gordon asked me on about that. He said, "Would you be into talking about that?" So I came on and I over-prepared for everything. So I came in with 4 pages of notes for a 5-minute segment. Went really well. I was like, "Would you be into doing this kind of every week?" So I was like, "Yeah, really." So kind of owe Gordon a lot there with that.
Was it the first one, the first website that came back to you? Was that the
Following the Nerd one? That's
Following the Nerd
with them as well. So
and how often do you pump out an article for them?
So I put up kind of once a week. So I do reviews, and I also kind of do something going to the cinema, things that annoy me, or people that like Liam Neeson had a film out, so I kind of do a retrospective on Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
I like the little what ifs, the kind of sliding doors moments. He wasn't cast in Taken initially.
Who was?
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. I would have gone with Jeff Bridges, alright. I like Jeff Bridges.
He's carrying a bit of timber,
he is, but fucking he can get through it, that kind of way. He's a pro,
It's hard to see the dude punching the head off that. And we talked earlier about Michael Collins as well. Michael Collins initially was Kevin Costner was cast in that.
Oh Jesus! Although I did like Kevin Costner in the last movie I watched him, where he played the criminal where they swapped his mind.
Not 3 Days to Kill and all the other one. Criminal. It was called
Criminal. Yeah. It was actually not a bad. It was far better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be some dirt.
I absolutely like.
He is a cool bastard, though.
He's in Molly's Game as well.
Yeah.
But he's one of those I've never seen an actor get so fucked up just because of too bad. He had The Postman, and which Waterworld isn't actually that bad. No. And then he just wasn't hired for years. He was in Dances with Wolves, The Bodyguard, The Untouchable. He's a fantastic actor. And then he had 2 bad films. And right, you're out. But you look at the amount of shite people make. Have you ever watched a film with The Rock and thought, "That's really good, I'm going to watch that again"?
It's the worst shit ever.
Yeah.
San Andreas, some of the worst shit.
Oh my god, the fucking end with the American flag.
Yeah.
What do? We rebuild. I was fuck off.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
And that thing now, giant animals, that now can fly straight up my hole. Yeah. But the only thing is, he's such a likeable fella off screen. He's such a likeable fucker.
Yeah.
That you'd go, go on, you cheeky devil. Sure, you took the money there, but you know what I mean? How many movies actually has The Rock made that have actually been really good?
The last one I remember, The Rundown, was very good, or Welcome to the Jungle, I think it was called. The one with Stifler.
Yes,
or the
Welcome
one
to the
Jungle.
Yeah.
As well.
Was
that one with Kevin Hart, Central Intelligence? It's genuinely one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, the Rock doesn't give a shit.
I wanted to start a GoFundMe when he found out that The Rock was the highest paid, most successful actor of all time. I wanted to start a GoFundMe to go and tell Daniel Day-Lewis and capture his reaction. Because he takes it so fucking seriously. And imagine going, "Look, the guy who made Jumanji is doing better than you." Would it just melt it? I'd love him to just melt down, go, "Right, I'm doing a fucking Jason the Wheel Warriors film now."
But that's the thing, though. Yeah, but sure, look, I mean, it's the other side of the... it's the same in comedy. You'll be looking, there's some of the most incredible comedians you'll never hear of, but they're not marketable at the time. The Rock is all shiny and full of muscles. You had a line, I think, was it in what... Jason Statham, was it one of the Fast and the Furious ones, the 2 of them were in? He had a line in it, "I'm going to beat you like a Cherokee drum." I swear on my life. And that was the point I stopped the movie. I was like, oh, well, fuck that. That's the movie done for me now. If there's any more out of that, I'm going to have to keep...
Oh, he's getting a spin-off of that, with just the 2 of them.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's what the whole... I don't know if you saw Tyrese having a meltdown on YouTube about...
Was that it? Yeah, because Tyrese is doing fuck all else. He's not. He's...
But I thought he died about 3 films ago like that. And
so
it's Tyrese is kicking off, and I was like, do you really think anyone's going to fucking see you? I can't even name your character. And I watch these things.
He's for, when they need to cut away, and it's just damn!
Yeah.
That's him. That's the guy. And to be fair, if he wasn't in it, they could have given all to what's his name, the rapper guy, the little fella. What's his name?
Ludicrous.
They could have given all his spots. Only he's the techie guy, but they could have given all his. Damn.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. They could have given all of those to him. No problem. Movie would have moved on just fine.
Like no one's tuned in to see fucking. I don't even know what he does in those films. Like, there's a computer guy, maybe that's him. But like, the two of them kind of
he had a bigger role, all right, back in the very early ones when Paul, when The Rock wasn't in it, and when even Vin Diesel wasn't.
Yeah, he was Too Fast, Too Furious. He was in.
Yeah, he had a bigger kind of role, like where he was the comedy to Paul Walker, like, you know what I mean. So he was the goofy guy, but then he just kind of faded to the background. But was still probably making a ball of money, spin-off wise, off the things, like, you know. So that I can see why he's probably raging. He was probably banking on another one, going, "You fuckers."
Don't rush them. Like, he's saying, I'm not going to be in it if The Rock's in. I was like, if you think you go to a studio and say Tyrese or The Rock is going to be in the next Fast and the Furious, they're like, Ty who? Get the fuck.
Yeah, I'm putting my foot down. If The Rock's in this, count me out.
There's no day in front of your name, son. Take a walk.
No, yeah, exactly. If you can't do the man pays $75,000 or something. It was $75,000 worth of a gym he brings with him everywhere. A 40-foot fucking container he brings to all the movies, every single set. You're like, what?
Bring an acting coach.
Yeah. Doesn't need to.
Like, that's in fairness, you know, if he's not bringing that and he just all of a sudden shows up as like a skinny lad, you know, you're not going to go and see a Rock.
Not at all. You're not. A
12-stone Rock doesn't have the same impact.
No, he doesn't. You're like, oh, right. Yeah, no, it's astronomically fucking steroid-filled fucking monster. Yeah, of course you want to see that. You know what I mean? He's the new Arnie, like, you know, so other than that, so I suppose I don't know how long have we done. God, we've been here over an hour. Yeah. We better get you on. You've got Spin coming up next. So anyway, where can everybody find you? Obviously on Twitter, where we had we were chatting about Paul Stenson.
Andy Mac 1983, and We Love Movies on Spin on Sundays at 12, and followingthenerd.com anytime something really irks me.
I mean, people,
which tends to be most days.
I'll put all these links anyway in the actual description and all the rest of it. For now, Andy McCarroll, thank you very, very much.
Cheers, thanks a lot.